Sybil and JJ. Okay. Welcome to the Tea by Milspouse Conversations. Let's meet the conversation starters. We have Sybil Jones, our Navy spouse and CEO. Up next, we have Grace Romo representing Marine spouses. And our very own, I got a resource for that, Miss Anna Brunner, our Navy spouse. And our veteran and Navy spouse, Miss Nye Cruz. And Air Force, Miss Lori Waddell. And our Army National Guard spouse, Miss Julie Provost. We want to give a special thanks to our sponsors, USAA and Make Me Awesome, for making this happen this year. And now, let's get ready to spill the tea.
Uh-oh, y'all, we're missing some people. We're missing a very special guest, JJ. I don't know where he's at. Hopefully he'll show up soon. And our very own host, Sybil. Do y'all think she's sleeping? Do you think
she's probably out doing something she ain't got no business doing?
Getting some
probably, yeah, I think she probably went to get some nuts for a snack for the show, maybe.
You always munching on her nuts, right?
She likes the snack.
Oh, goodness. I don't know, y'all.
Anyone else? Tiana
needs to get this down.
Oh,
there she is. Excuse you, Miss Ma'am. Is that a shopping bag?
Y'all,
did Bud get?
Where Bud get that at 3 a.m.?
Y'all. So y'all know, I got this email from my husband earlier today. And that email, in capital letters, y'all, it said, Bud, get. And then I was like, oh, you want me to go get something? So I opened the email, and he had this spreadsheet. And it was like, Sybil, in capital letters. And then scrolling down, and all the categories were in black, except for my name that said clothing, my budget line that said clothing, it was in red with a negative sign. So I'm like, oh, that means I can go spend that amount of money. So yes, Nishita, it is 3 a.m. here in Bahrain. So I took part of that line, the number in red, and I put it toward my Bud Get expense, right? It was my Bud Get outing because I'm Bud. Fine. My husband calls me Bud.
It's not Bud, Sybil. It's a budget. A budget.
The D and the G go together.
It's together.
They blend.
Budget. That means go to sleep. Don't go shopping.
I thought he was telling me, Bud, go get you some new clothes. And Nishita, I took part of that money and did a private shopping experience at the mall. Yes, I did. Let me show y'all what I got. Now, JJ will agree with me that B-U-D-G-E-T spells Bud Get. I got some new shoes.
Nice.
Oh, those are nice.
I got some dresses, y'all.
Ooh, pretty.
I needed some dresses for all.
I would have stains all over both of those things. I can't get like color.
Don't worry, nobody's seen them. It's got spots all over it.
That's true. Ooh.
Needed some heels.
Yeah, lime green. What you wearing that with?
I like that.
The brown and white dress.
No, the
Maybe
first
Bud
event
needs to
she
go to
had this
fashion
Mill
school.
Spouts conversation, she was wearing some lime green heels, I think.
That's true.
Bud got some fashion issues going on over here.
Some budget issues going on too.
She got issues.
And some more shoes.
Banana.
Because-
Young.
Nice.
It said Bud Get. So I went.
I think
Isn't
we
that
need a
right,
lesson from
JJ?
JJ.
Getting a head scratch from the USAA guy.
Yeah, how did that spreadsheet look after you got done? That's what I want to know.
Well, so that's the problem that I have because that red line, that line with the red numbers that say Sybil, it keeps increasing. And that's where my husband has the problem. Because he's like, Sybil, no, this means that you are going over your budget. But I'm like, it's not budget. It's Bud Get. And I'm Bud. What am I doing wrong?
Where do we even start?
Everything. So
Hey, you know what? You need to just maybe you need to buy into the process. Call it a spending plan and figure out how much you're going to spend. As opposed to-
Oh, I like that. I'm writing that down.
She is on a
Spending
spending
plan.
plan. She's planning to spend more money.
Let it empower you as opposed to limit you. I don't know.
I thought it meant I can just get what I wanted.
I'll never write
Absolutely.
budget again without thinking about Bud Get.
So JJ, for all the other buds out there, can you just help us with the basics of a spending plan? I guess that's what I'll call it.
Yeah, no, I think everybody's spending plan is going to look a little bit different, but I think the key word there is plan, because too often people don't have a plan at all, and they have really no idea where their money goes. And I use this example all the time, but back when I was doing financial planning with USA members, one of the things I would always ask them right up front is, hey, how much money do you have left over at the end of the month so we can pay down debt or build savings or invest. And they would give me some number. And part of the homework I would give them between this time we met and we were going to meet again in 90 days was, we'll go back and track all your spending for this next 90 days, and then we'll revisit that number. And so when they'd come back, it was always, not always, but the vast majority of the time, that $500 that they had to do all those good things had turned into $55 just because money just kind of slides out. And if you don't have a good handle on where it goes, then you're going to have a problem. And to me, that's, there's nothing wrong with spending money on clothes or shoes or whatever you like. But as long as it fits into whatever your overall game plan is, I think that's the key thing. So I think the first thing to do would be to get a handle on where your money does go. And sometimes just seeing that will cause you to think, what the heck, I need to make some adjustments, or we need to make some changes. And I could perhaps see that being the case, Sybil. Bud.
Well, you know what? I want to bring my partner in crime, or who I think would be my partner in crime, with getting on here. So, Miss Anna,
I knew you were going to say my name.
what is something you spend money on that burns your pocket?
Oh, food. Like not groceries, but like eating out. So for instance, and I think I sent you a video about this today, where we live now, we get an ice cream truck, and not just any ice cream truck. It's a soft serve, Mr. Softy ice cream truck. And you can get soft serve, which is, oh, I love it. He'll put sprinkles on it, all like do sundaes, everything, no joke. So you hear him coming from like a mile away. I grab my wallet. I will run to the ice cream place, the ice cream truck now. It's like the devil sent him to my road.
The devil. So, JJ, how could Anna curve her ice cream budget?
And I also have 2 children that also hear the very loud ice cream song from like a mile away. They hear it coming.
Yeah, that story had me flashing back because I could still remember. I was probably in kindergarten, and we would have the ice cream truck would come by, and that was always an exciting time. And so at some point, my mom told me no, we weren't getting the ice cream. So she said no, that might be helpful. And but I went out there, and I don't remember where I got the money, but I went out there and I got my own ice cream. And I went up to my room, and I thought I would just eat it in my room and kind of hide there. And of course, my mom found me, and that was a bad day for me. So.
do you forever hate ice cream since that
No,
day?
I have overcome that with bells and whistles. I have a real affinity for ice cream. So I think, to me, I guess, again, it shouldn't all be about no. It should be about how do we do the things that we want to do in a responsible manner. So, maybe it's not 5 times that the truck comes up that you get it, or maybe it's 3 or 2 or 1. But just building a plan which allows you to do the things that are important to you. And I can see how ice cream could be important. I can empathize with that. But again, not overdoing it.
That's good. I'll say 1 time a week.
And that's a good point that you made about what's important to you. Because I've had conversations with the conversation starters and just friends in general, right? And where I may want to spend my money on shoes within a budget, because in real life, I do follow the budget 85% of the time.
That's pretty solid.
But where I do want to spend money on shoes, I have other friends who would rather spend their money on ice cream. But people often, there becomes a judgmental moment there where it's like, well, no, this is what's important to me. Just like saving money, right? Like we save for family vacations. And some people choose not to save for family vacations. Whatever, but just knowing where your money goes is important to you. Sorry, guys, I'm over here still thinking about my private shopping.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And as somebody who's done financial planning, it should always start with whoever you're working with, their goals. It's not my goals to put on them. It's whatever they're trying to achieve. And so I think that's what you're saying is essentially everybody's going to be different in terms of what's important to them. And so that makes a lot of sense to me. You got it. We've solved the world's problems.
See? But you know what? You know who's going to save the world's problems right now? That is going to be Miss Grace during her segment of
There Ain't No Way.
Are you ready, Grace?
I think so. Let's get into it. I think so. Ready as ever be. Wow, that's really close. Okay, so we'll start off with like some random things I thought about, and then we'll go into like more money type things, and it'll help your shopping a little bit. So we'll maybe. The first one is going to be sandwich bags. If you have a sandwich bag and you need a gallon size that's really long, and you only have a sandwich bag and you need to put some noodles in it or whatever, you can actually use 2 sandwich bags, turn one of them inside out, push them in together so that the lines are together, and just snap them closed. And then you have 2 bags that make a really long one. You could do this also for travel. Like if you have toothbrushes and you lost the cap to it or whatever, and you need to keep it in, it's too long. Just put 2 baggies together, and then you have a really long bag. You could do it for wet clothes, whatever it is you need in a bind. You can make a bigger bag, 2 bags, one inside out, one regular side, zip together. That's the first one. And then I bought myself a cute little key ring because my other one broke. And I also broke my nail while I was trying to put the ring on it. So I learned that if you get a straw and you cut a little piece off. Now, my California friends, y'all use paper straws. You're going to have to go to the grocery store and find a plastic one. But you stick it into, oh, it's hard to do on camera. You stick it in on the ring part and it will actually separate. You can't really see it on camera, but it will separate the ring for you and you don't have to break your nails. And then you can slip on your key ring or whatever else you want to use it for. And then my next one, hold on, let me get my notes out before I forget, is going to be Mercari. Mercari is a resale app where you can buy anything from like a toy to a dress to shoes. Sybil, you can't get ice cream, sorry, Anna, but there's a million different things that you can buy on there for pretty decent prices. But the really cool thing is you can redeem unused gift cards from any store onto Mercari for Mercari money. And so if you have, I have a Banana Republic gift card given to me like years ago. I still haven't used it and I probably never will. So I'm going to put that into my app and I'm going to get Mercari money and then I could buy some gifts for Christmas off of those unused gift cards. And then another good tip is your Old Navy cash that you get when you spend a certain amount of money at Old Navy. Those things are kind of annoying because you have to wait like 2 weeks before you can go back. By then, you already bought everything you wanted, don't really have a reason to go back. Well, when they expire, you can actually put them on your app and gain points to use as cash later on. So if you have those expired papers, just throw it onto your app, throw it onto your account, and then you can accumulate more money that way instead of going back to the store and spending money that you had no intention of spending on just because you had that paper coupon. And then the last one I suggest is getting all the rebate apps that are out there. There's so many now, but my favorite one is Ibotta. Ibotta will link to all your accounts, including Sam's Club, Walmart, Costco, everything. And so anytime you press that add to cart and pay button or you swipe your card, it will automatically upload what you spent and you can get money back. So just in my last shopping trip, I got $20 back by redeeming things that I needed for my house: milk, cheese, snacks for the kids, whatever you need. And those little pennies add up, and that could be your ice cream money or your shoe money or whatever money that you need for your extra things. So getting those rebate apps are a really good thing to do. And that's my Your Ain't No Way for today.
Yes, love it, love it, love it. JJ, what do you think about Grace's There Ain't No Way?
I like that kind of a life hacks segment. So I haven't seen that before. It's good stuff. I was thinking, I have some nail issues with the putting the keys on the ring there. So I'm with you on that. I actually use Mercari, and I was looking for a specific item, which I'm not going to say what it is here. You have a shirt on, but it was a good experience for there. And then the 2 bags. I'm not sure when I'm going to use the 2 bags, but I like that 2 bags idea as well. So thank you for all that. I think the cool thing that you said financially is just the idea that, okay, these savings that I created by using one of these tips or another, I was able to take and repurpose and use them somewhere else.
For sure. Yeah, I'm all about that. I try to save as much as I can. I'm a stay-at-home mom right now, and so the little ways that I can save money is also my little ways I can make money to be able to buy those extra frills that I'm not using towards my grocery budget or my house budget or whatever it is. So just little ways like that, you can really kind of spread your budget.
And I think that makes it a lot more rewarding, because if you just do it and then you don't really see anything tangible from it, it's not as cool as doing it and then being able on the other hand to see, okay, I did this, I took the time and effort, and here's kind of the reward. So here's the upside of making that or taking that step. So I like that.
Yeah. Hey, Sybil, I do have one more that I forgot that I just remembered. And I'm going to say it real quick because your household goods should be coming soon. And I know you need a carpet. So this goes hand in hand. If you guys have a rug that is rolled up, and then you go to try to lay it flat, right? Those annoying corners are still sticking up. Well, if you grab something heavy and you put it on that corner that's folding, and you throw some ice cubes on that corner and let them melt down, once those are melted and you give it like an extra hour, it will lay flat. because that water, that moisture,
Really?
is keeping it flat. So it'd be the equivalent kind of to using a steamer, but not everybody has one, and not everybody wants to bend down and do all that. So if you just put that heavy weight on that side, whatever side it is, corner, the middle, whatever's bumpy or floppy, just put that heavy piece and a handful of ice cubes, let it melt down, and it'll stay flat.
It's always the corner that gets the most foot traffic, is what I've noticed. Is the one that
For sure.
curls up.
For sure. Yeah. So give it a try. See if it works.
No, I will.
I need, yes, because I need to go get several rugs. So, JJ, last Friday, I slipped and fell
Uh-oh.
on hard ceramic floor, straight on the back of my head. Just boom. Yeah. Yeah. I was like,
How
I
did
told
you do
my
that?
husband. My husband has sprayed wrinkle releaser. He thought he wiped it up, but he didn't.
Oh,
I
jeez.
turned the corner and I was like, dude, you trying to take me out? Like, you didn't have to bring me to Bahrain to do that. Like, come on.
There's
Yeah,
nothing
he's
quite as
like-
scary as when your legs when that happens. It's frightening for sure.
Yes, it was.
Talk about lack. Anybody like control? That's an absolute lack of control. Just for a moment there.
Me. I'm all about control. Now, so Grace, when you mentioned the plastic bags, I haven't done this. Actually, we do it now, but we have envelopes that we put our dinar, someone saying that right? We split it out and we put that in the envelopes for the month. And that's how we budget out our dinars. Because apparently, here's something else, JJ. Apparently, I don't know how to calculate the exchange rate. How important is that to know and understand as military families, right? Moving overseas, really and truly knowing what the exchange rate is, because it will jack up a budget in a minute. I paid $24, JJ, $24 for some grapes.
Wow. And it seemed like a good deal at the time.
It did. I was like, oh. Just like, so I was telling Grace the other day, the Gerber Puffs. I have teenagers, but my youngest likes the Gerber Puffs. Went to the grocery store. It said 2 point something, right? So $2. That's what I'm thinking, $2. Well, no.
No. I mean, it's pretty with your phone these days. It's pretty. At least I found it to be fairly handy in terms of having the phone and being able to go immediately from one currency to the other. So if you have a phone, you should be okay.
But I wasn't thinking. I was just like, oh, $2. Well, no, they ended up being close to $9.
For a what?
Gerber Puffs. Just the little can of Gerber Puffs.
Wow.
That's nuts.
You spent like half my budget on grapes and Gerber Puffs right there.
What are you getting Gerber Puffs for?
Because Helen likes to eat them.
Likes the snacks. Yeah. I thought maybe you were going to say Tiana.
More exciting news.
No, Tiana. I gave Tiana French fries, McDonald's French fries, and she threw them all out. Tiana has a very sensitive stomach. I have learned it. And we've actually had to take Tiana to the ER vet. And at that time, I did not know, and we've had to put a dog down as well. But I did not know that USAA had pet insurance. And I was not budgeting for emergency pet care. I will be honest, JJ, my dogs, but I was not thinking about emergency pet care. But Mr. Jones is all about the budget. And he had planned ahead of time. So, how important is it for families to include their pets in their budgets?
I think that's a great line in terms of expenses. I mean, I think about our own. So I have 3 dogs, one which is here with me here now, but 3 dogs, and I think about just the food. We have one dog that's on like 3 medicines. It's like $60 a month, and so anyway, bottom line is, even without any big medical issues, you can certainly you certainly need to include that in your spending plan, bud. And but I think on the other hand, when you look at insurance or pet insurance, I mean that can be a good way to plan or prepare for something bad happening. I mean, pet insurance, USA has pet insurance, and you can certainly compare what we have to other offerings out there and look at deductibles and how much is covered, what's excluded. I mean, unlike, because a lot of times people have pets with issues, and that's really the first time they think about pet insurance. But unlike human insurance in the U.S., like pre-existing conditions are typically not going to be covered with pet insurance. So what I would say about pet insurance is, hey, I think at a high level, whether there ought to be some planning going on around including the expenses associated with your pets. And when we talk about emergency funds and reasons to have emergency funds, it could be for something like you're talking about with respect to pet emergencies. I mean, we had a dog, Sammy, and he passed away probably, I think I was at a Mill Spouse Fest. May have been with you, Sybil, but probably 5 years ago. And I happened to be out of town. And I always internally kind of scoffed when people told me these stories about how they paid thousands of dollars to cover their pets, emergency care. And of course, I think we paid $7,000 trying to save Sammy. And so anyway, I didn't have pet insurance. One, I did have an emergency fund, but so we were okay on that front. But the bottom line is, whether you have the insurance or you don't have the insurance, you ought to plan for both the everyday expenses that are going to be there and the potential, at least, for these kind of tough expenses like medical expenses. And maybe pet insurance is something to evaluate to see if it works for you. So it's certainly worthwhile for a lot of people. I know I think maybe it was 2 years ago or so, USA started offering it. And primarily we started offering it, and I think the company we use is Embrace, but we started offering it because we were getting so many questions and people inquiring about it because they wanted to make sure that they were taking care of their pets and prepared for something bad happening.
Yes, because again, I was one of those people. We did the same with Carlos. We spent thousands trying to save him, and then thousands in putting him down because I wanted a special burial for him. But the planner of the family, Mr. Jones, not me, he agreed to do it. But yeah, this go around, he's like, look, you have to come up with a spending plan. Because Bud Gets is no longer getting.
Yeah, no, so that is something definitely. And I would bet anybody that does have that spending plan and has a pet, that pets are taking up at least a noticeable portion of it. But they usually don't get red lines for going and getting shoes, though.
Well, Brianna needs shoes because it's so hot here in Bahrain. Her paws just get burned.
Does she wear the
yeah.
little dog booties?
No, because someone forgot to buy some. That same someone, JJ, forgot to renew the tourist passports for the family before we moved.
That was the planner, right? The planner.
That was the plan. Okay, we are going to take a quick commercial break, and then we will be back with our game. The game. Hey, in case you didn't know, USAA is our Convolicious sponsor. This is how we do what we do, y'all. So in the comments, say thank you, USAA. Give a little dance. Whoop, 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 whoop. Tell JJ how much you love Meal Spouse Conversations.
Do it.
Yeah. Tell him now. Don't be scared. All right, let's get ready for the game. I'm sorry, y'all. It's 3:30. I'm getting delirious. It's 3:30 a.m. Okay. I know y'all love that.
That was awesome.
It's cute.
Oh, sorry, Julie. Let me uncover your face.
Oh, Julie got the boom.
I love her peeking around it.
That's awesome.
All right, guys. So we are going to play the game. And yes, it's going to be all about money. Oh, and let me put Angela's comment up. Thank you, USAA. Thanks for being here tonight, JJ. Woo!
It's only 7 o'clock
All right.
here. Bam.
All right, so this is how we play this game. I'm gonna put up the slide. It's gonna ask a question. Read it, please read it. And then you have the next one. You're gonna shout out your answer. If you're watching, put your answer in the comment. Okay, so if you're watching this live, put your answers in the comment, and the winner will receive money. You will get a $25 gift card sent to you from Meal Spouse Conversations because of the love and support from USAA. Because Bud over here doesn't have $25 to send you because I spent it on my shoes. All right, guys. All right, so here we go. First question.
Wait, I have a question. Are we allowed to
You
answer?
Yes, y'all can play too, Grace.
Okay, I just want to
Yeah.
know. I'm bitter about this game, okay? I throw some shade at this game. JJ, if you don't know, Sybil done played Anna and I twice. I mean, Julie and I, sorry, Anna. Julie and I twice in this game. She cheated. We had it right, and she
She's
cheated.
so sneaky. It's scary.
I don't believe that. I
She
don't
got Anna
believe
with the bed answer, remember?
Yes, exactly. See? Everybody has my back, Sybil. You better play it right. Let's go. Let's play.
Y'all can be mad at DJ for this one because this is his question.
Oh, okay. All right. So then I have a fair chance this time.
All right, here
Not my
we go.
Uh-oh.
How much do JJ, you want to read the question?
How much do Americans save each month as a percentage of their gross income?
So this is like on average or something.
Yes.
Like 1%.
See, then you have Anna over here who asked additional questions about the question.
Just want to clarify.
She's thorough.
10%. I say 10%.
Is this a multiple choice question, or do we have to shout out an answer?
She said, shout out the answer.
I must say
No, it isn't.
5%.
I'm
Hold
gonna
on,
say
hold on.
1%. I want to say 0%, but that's a little extreme.
Yeah.
I think 10%.
This one might be in the red too.
Not Sybil.
Ooh,
Oh, we got some.
Oh,
Oh,
I don't know. See?
10%'s up there.
I'm gonna say B.
I'm with Anna. I'm gonna say B. I think that's not what it should be, but that's probably what it is right now. Ooh.
All right.
I'm gonna say B.
You want me to go into it, Sybil, or
So Angela said her guess is 5%.
that's pretty good because she didn't have any help. She just guessed it before you put up the choices.
Yeah. Okay. So now she put it up 10%.
Mm.
Oh, it's B.
that y'all's
5%?
final
She said she missed the multiple choice. She's going with C.
Is that
Angela's
y'all's final
going with C.
answer?
Yeah.
I think it might be A.
C.
Are you ready for me to put up the answer?
Mhm.
Ooh, Angela said final answer A.
Lock your answers in, people. Okay. JJ is going to tell us the answer now.
Okay.
A.
3.5%. Look at that great picture. Ooh. Instead of, so I would say this: 3.5% is pretty pitiful. At USAA, our point of view is that you ought to be saving like around 15%, which is a pretty big number, but 3.5% is a pretty small number. If you go back to the pandemic when we had people were getting a lot of money inflows from stimulus checks and what have you, and we're scared that savings rate was up at 30%. But historically, since I've been doing this, it's been somewhere in the 6 or 7% range, which is still not great, but 3.5% is, again, not good at all. So the question is what is your savings rate? Do you know what it is? And if you don't, if it's 3.5%, that's okay. But maybe we're going to talk about pay raise here in a little bit, I think. But we have a pay raise coming up in January, and maybe that's an opportunity to bump from 3.5% if that's where you're at to 4.5 or 5.5. So I always say that the military pay system is built to give you opportunities to save money. That's the easiest to save because you're not already spending it through those time and service, cost of employment, promotion, pay raises. So don't be part of that statistic. Do better. I was just writing a story. It was talking about
Do better.
do better. Keep up with the Joneses. And so this would be an area where you really wanted to exceed the Joneses in terms of what you're saving. How's that a twist?
Yes. And look, I am not the Jones that you want to try to keep up with.
You're saving so much. You're saying?
As my grandmother used to say, you don't have a pot to piss in nor a window to throw it out of.
Damn.
That's what she used to say. She used to say that.
Grandma used to say that too.
You're breaking up. I couldn't hear you. No need to repeat it though.
Am I been a robot? But with that 3.5% of savings, it does lead me to the question about the pay increase. How can I'm looking for my banner. Sorry. Where's it at? See, this is live
It's a lot more high.
TV, y'all. This is live.
I mean, last time I was here, it was just us in the little blocks. Now you've got all sorts of graphics and games.
We're moving on up.
Yeah.
Maybe next year it'll be 3D.
Coming at you live.
We're coming along. So, with that, with the 3.5 on average of savings, what will you do with the 5.2% pay increase in 2024? So that was a question to the conversation starters. And then JJ, I would like for you to just give us a little bit of tea advice on how we should incorporate that pay increase into our lives. Nishita, what you going to do with it?
My husband handles all the finances. I'm sure he'll save it or something. I don't know. I just leave it up to him. So we retire, and I don't know. But I'm sure he'll manage it well. Balls in his court. So to
Just
speak.
like, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I just complain if I don't get enough. Excuse me, I didn't get enough money. That's my job. Not to spend all the money, that's my job.
So, see, you are Bud too.
No, I've been on a budget since 2005, so I'm not Bud Gets at all. At all. I don't talk like that.
Angela, you didn't know about this?
I didn't know either. That was news to me.
It comes every year. There's a raise every year.
Y'all need the military
Yeah.
pay app. It'll keep you updated in all the different
I didn't know there was a military
additions of
pay app.
income in the military. Grab the app. It'll help you keep track.
Okay.
And hello, conversation starters. I do believe I shared something about that in the newsletter.
I did read it. I must not have seen that part.
And I read it and still forgot.
I do. I like that though. So Sybil's not surprised.
Yep, this is the biggest raise in a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
be good.
JJ, you see what I'm working with here?
Oh,
She's the ringleader, JJ. She's the ringleader.
I mean, you let off with the shopping trip, so what else are we gonna do?
Right?
I think
She's the ringleader.
right? To me, having a plan going back to just being cognizant, hey, there is going to be because what I would say is 5% is a lot, but it's pretty amazing how we can just spend whatever's coming in. So you could miss out if you don't go after it a little bit and figure out, okay, these are the specific things we want to do. Maybe you take 2% of it and boost what you're putting into the TSP, and that's the only cool from my perspective thing you do. Everything else goes into having a little bit more money to spend on ice cream, if you will.
One more ice cream night.
Exactly.
There
So,
you go.
But if you can combine that with a little boost in what you're putting into your TSP or what you're automatically transferring into a savings account, and kind of capture some of that 5.2% before it just becomes a regular part of your spending. To me, that's the important part. So again, I don't know what the financial good is that you need to do in your life right now, but I would encourage you to if you take that as an approach for every time and service pay increase or promotion pay increase or cost of employment like this one, and just say, oh, we're going to take a third of it or a quarter of it to do some what I would call financial good, and the rest of it we're going to use to increase our lifestyle. Then you've kind of got the best of both worlds. You're buying more ice cream, and you're also saving more or using some money to pay down debt or whatever your priorities are.
We do something a little similar to that, and we use that pay increase for the first, I don't know, depending on where we are financially, it'll be like the first 4 to 6 months of that pay increase. We put it all to savings, whether that's part TSP, regular savings account, investments, whatever, straight there. Because we had already built a plan, a spending plan, right, on our previous income. So that extra money is just going to be growing a cushion to be extra comfortable. And then if we decide, okay, we don't really need that extra money in our day-to-day spending, then we'll continue to do that. Or if we feel like we're running a little short in certain sections, then we'll be like, okay, we'll take whatever percentage of that and extend our Christmas budget for this year. Or, our cars are going to need more service this year. Let's put a little bit of that into service now. So we kind of just try to live in that same spending plan for as long as we can, and then touch that money when we need it, just because it gives us that comfortable cushion, that emergency fund, that type of stuff. So.
Yeah, and I worked with people when I was doing financial planning that were like living on a spending plan they built 2 pay grades ago, which I thought, wow, that's phenomenal. Maybe a little bit more over the top than I would go, but you're kind of doing it in a similar fashion. But it starts with having a spending plan or knowing where your money goes, because if you don't, then this is just going to be another opportunity missed.
Yeah.
Grace is discipline. I love that.
Me too.
Because
Thanks. Appreciate
we
it.
have tried that. We have tried, like with what JJ said, like I was like, okay, you know what? We're going to continue living at this pay grade. But life begins to happen, and Bud over here wants to get and it never happens. But for this go around, we will actually have our middle child will be our middle daughter will be in college. She's a senior this year. So I'm like, all right, you know what? We're not going to put this in our spending plan for the household. We now have another child too in college. So this money does not belong to Bud.
And you emailed me that. I didn't get it. I'm thinking about it. When you sent me that email about Bud, I just read through it. I'm like, what does she mean? But now I get it.
I am Bud, and I get. But no, because having a budget help Bud get. Right. And I believe like you have to have a budget or a spending plan in order to reach a certain goal in life. No matter what that is, whether it's savings or buying a new dress, like whatever. You have to set a spending plan. Have one in
And you have to follow
place.
it. I mean, anybody can set one. But if you just set it and it's there in a file somewhere or, the bottom of your junk drawer, it's not really going to do you any good. You got to make sure that you maintain those goals, right? You worked with those. That's not to say that you're going to be perfect, but do the best that you can to reach those goals that you set for yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I
And
think
my husband sends me reminders regularly.
it is a team game. So if you have one that's on the Bud plan, one's on the budget, that's going to be a lazy. Yeah. But I think, that's good. I think the other thing is I would say is there's been a few people over the years that I've met that the budgeting was kind of an end. I mean, they enjoyed doing that and tracking where everything went. But for most of us, it's not an end. It's a means to what you were saying. So it's a means to something, whatever your goals are. So we're budgeting so we can do blank, as opposed to budgeting just to budget. Which again, for some people that's great.
Yes. And I wanted to go ahead and share this with everyone that on Thursday, October 26th, we will have our virtual event The Conversation, which is where you can come behind the scenes via Zoom and chat with the conversation starters and JJ. Yes, you get to talk directly to the man himself about money. We will continue this conversation, plus ask your questions. The registration link is right here, millspouseconversations.com/military spouse social hour. Or just go to our website, click on events, and bam, register. Don't wait, do it today. Right, Grace? I'm putting Grace on the spot, right?
Yeah, right. Register.
And why should they register, Grace?
Oh, because you don't want to miss out. I think our live shows are amazing. She always puts me on the spot, y'all. I think our live shows are amazing and it's great, but it's also more fun when you can actually interact with us face to face, screen to screen, and actually talk live with us instead of just, on the keyboard. You can get all your questions answered. You can throw your comments at us. It's fun. It's a good time. So make sure you register and don't be late to register. I know a lot of people are like, I missed it. Don't miss it. This is your chance. Register.
So how many folks you think we'll have at the conversation?
Hopefully.
Ooh, that's a good one. Let's make a goal.
I'm just throwing it out
How
there.
many y'all want?
We should fill up the screen.
Yeah.
How many blocks can fit on the screen?
100 blocks can fit on the screen.
Wow. That's a lot.
100 people.
All
That'd be
right.
awesome.
Let's do it.
So don't be scared, y'all. We don't bite. What you see right here is what you get.
Hey, this is a perfect
Okay.
time too because all the holidays and stuff are coming, so it'll be a good talk too. Get some plans on that.
Yes.
I'll come with some tips and tricks and sale dates for y'all. So register.
Oh, yes,
Can I
because
ask JJ a
Greg,
question?
you were sharing with us last show about
Yeah, sale dates. Amazon, Target, and Walmart are having
Next week, right?
Black Friday. Yeah. Well, Target's right now. The 7th is the last day for their sale for this round. Then you get Walmart and Amazon doing a pre-Black Friday sale. So you'll want to check that out too.
yes.
See,
And
I'm
if y'all
looking forward to
didn't
learning
know
from you.
this, we have a discount newsletter that goes out every week. Right now, I say it's Sunday, Monday, because I'm still trying to figure out the time zone difference. So sometimes things get a little hazy over here. But we send out a newsletter with sales for the week, military discounts, all the tea on money saving. So don't be scared. Sign up. Grab that newsletter. Anna,
Yes,
did you
ma'am.
have a self-care tip for us? Yes, Anna.
I do. I did a little bit of research. I'm so studious. Because I will say, so when I first started,
Hold
I
on,
did some
Anna.
research.
Time out.
No,
Time
don't do
out,
the clip.
time out. Hold on.
I'm gonna do the clip. So you have to hear that one in context.
I've got a resource for that. I've got a resource
do.
for that.
I've
I've got a resource for that. I've got a resource for that. I've got a resource for that.
So the context to that is that there's in the military life, especially mil spouse, there's always that person in the background that has a resource for something, which is great. I'm not down in it. But there's a lot of resources to keep track of. So I'm going to get my notes together. So when we first started our talk about self-care, when we first started the whole self-care topic, I had originally said that I wanted to keep it simple. And I said there was like 3 pillars of self-care: physical, mental, and spiritual. Well, I'm going to add another pillar this time to financial self-care, because if you look up financial self-care, there's a whole lot that comes up. And this topic was very good for me because I never really thought of it as self-care. So to go through it super quick, because I know it's getting late and people are wanting to get off here. Self-care, financial self-care is everything we talked about. You need to make a specific plan and a goal to make your financial future a little better. And the whole point of that is to relieve that stress. So if you're not planning and setting goals, there's that kind of stress in the background that you're trying to ignore. So you're not your best self when you're not taking care of your finances. So it is a form of self-care. So an example would be properly managing your financial life. So to do that, you would want to do it daily, like actually looking at your bank account. Some people don't want to do that, but you got to kind of look at them. And like Jay said, make that emergency fund, create a realistic monthly budget, a realistic one, I think is the big thing. Set your financial objectives, educate yourself, and only borrow when you can actually pay it back quickly. And then make your spending plan. So when I went on to the USAA app on my phone, because I do have that app, I scrolled down to, if you scroll down past everything, and there comes up, I don't know if you can see this on my phone, but it says advice and services. Click on advice. And then what popped up for me immediately was all these other topics that you can go into. You can see the icons kind of on my phone, maybe, I'm not sure, but there's different icons. And one of the first ones says military life. So I clicked on military life, but there's other ones like finances and whatever. So the first article that came up on my page, which of course isn't coming up now, but there was one for military spouses that came up. So I encourage you to use all the features on their app. So go to their advice thing, the advice tab, which of course now on live TV is not going to work for me, but there was Grace has it up.
I got it. It says, the Military Spouse's Guide to Reducing Financial Stress. That's
what it was. And for some reason, it didn't want to pull back up for me. So I'm going to read that tonight when my internet is better. But there was a whole bunch of other articles and topics. So I'm going to dive into that because I will be honest, financial well-being has not been top on my list of self-care. So I'm going to be getting on that daily. And the first step is to put it on my calendar. I'm going to have to write it in my white space on my calendar every day to do that.
And most of those articles are like 5-minute reads. So you can.
Yeah. And it tells you too. Yeah. It says, I love that when it tells you how long it's going to take you to read it.
Yeah. So that's our advice center. And so you can, like you said, break it down by topic if you want to read about auto insurance, military life insurance. I mean, there's just a ton of great articles and information there. So, and that was totally unplanned. Thanks for that. I know my wife would be excited to hear you say that.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. I'm going to be reading the articles.
See, when you come here to MilSpice Conversations, hey, you just get all the real conversation and the rawness of it all. It's having real conversations, right? It's unscripted, unplanned, let's just talk. And we need that. We need that. And for the articles, Anna, there is always a USAA link in the newsletter every week as well. Anna, girl, I'm starting to question if you're reading the newsletter.
I do open it and read it. I just didn't retain the information. I have a problem with that, apparently.
I'm like all over.
You know what it is? It's because I have a teenage son that comes in behind me whenever I'm trying to read something, and he's telling me all the things that he wants me to purchase for him. So
Angela, the question or the answer to your question, I will let JJ, do you see her question? She's not asking it tonight, but she's asking if you would be able to touch on it
Yeah.
during the event.
So how and where to invest? I mean, the reality is that the answer to that is really based on your own individual situation, goals, and circumstances. But I'd be happy to talk about different types of investments and advantages, disadvantages, and what have you. So at a high level, without giving anybody any advice, I would definitely be happy to talk about that next.
So Angela, you need to register, okay?
And tell your friends.
Register right.
Yeah.
Yes, and tell your friends. And I want to say this to my Bahrain mill spouses. I need you to pay attention because we are going to have an in-person event here the end of this month. Okay? So make sure you register and you get to meet me in person.
That's
Just
a
had to
treat.
get that little plug.
Can I ask JJ a question?
What?
Can I ask JJ a question?
Real
Sure.
quick.
Okay, so a long time ago, I bought a savings certificate, and now I can't find the actual paper. How do
Oh,
you,
yeah.
is that recoverable? Can you find that? Like the bank said, if I know the bank, they'll look it up for me, but is that correct?
So how long time ago was that? Like,
Oh, about 15 years ago.
yeah, it's the record is there at some point. Let me take that as homework.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
So guess what, Nasheed? I guess you'll be at the event too, right? And anyone else who has
I'm
that
at every
question?
event, Sybil. Why wouldn't I be there? Of course I'm going to be there. I'm going to be there with bells on.
All right, so we are now done with the show. Thank you, JJ, for coming and chatting with us and fixing the music of our real and relatable and random conversations here at Millspace Conversation.
Yeah, I had
And
to
of
come
course,
to meet Bud.
yes. And thank y'all for your support this year. And I'm gonna show y'all a little video about what we've been doing. It will take us out for the show tonight. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like and follow us. Stay in touch with Millspace Conversations.